Hello and welcome to Ryno's Ravens review. Please like and subscribe. All right, let's get to what am I going to talk about? Well, Ravens at Titans in London. Oh, and I have been mispronouncing the stadium. I think I said Tottenham or something, but it's Tottenham. Like there's an extra syllable in there that you're not supposed to pronounce. But however you like to call it. Yes, the Ravens did beat the Tennessee Titans in London. As you can see, BaltimoreRavens.com right here, their head page, homepage. 24 Baltimore Ravens, 16 Tennessee Titans. Ravens got a lot of pieces back from injury in this game. Just about everybody except for, Dobbins and Washington, who are on IR. Jabo and Owe have not returned yet. But everybody else was back. Marcus Williams does not actually look like he maybe should be back. He definitely seems to be still feeling that pec injury. You can kind of see him favoring one side. Hamilton got ejected. Look, I understand Hamilton went into the receiver, a somewhat defenseless receiver, with his helmet. Was it the very top of his helmet? I don't think so, based on the angle I saw. Should it have been flagged? Yes, probably. Ejected? Really? Look, you won't flag offense players when they go into defenders with leading with their helmet and creating helmet-to-helmet contact. How are you going to eject defensive players? You won't even flag offensive guys for this same offense, but you're going to not only flag the defender, but toss him. And I assume what comes with an ejection would either be a fine or suspension or both. But yet you won't even just flag the offensive guy. Bullshit is what that is. It's bullshit. You're going to sit there and tell me that none of these offensive guys have never sought out contact with a defensive player and used their helmet to lead with. Yes, it's happened. It has happened. And it will continue to happen unless you do something about it. But you know what? The NFL doesn't want to do anything about it because what they're really trying to tell everybody is they don't want defenders on the field doing anything at all. Otherwise, if they're concerned about player safety, they would flag offensive guys for the same thing. But yet they don't. Still more growing pains with the offense. Yes, they won. They scored points. Still having some mishaps. Let's take a look at some of the numbers. I'm going to stay here on BaltimoreRavens.com for now. But let's stick with the defense. Something that was key for this game. This gentleman right here, Derrick Henry. One of the best backs in the longest time that I've seen as far as durability and ability. He has power, he has size, he has speed, he has break tackle ability, and he can absolutely take over a game. Now, yes, you do see 97 yards, and you do see 63-yard long with one touchdown. But that's really all Tennessee Titans have. And if you take away that long 63-yard run, which, yes, I will admit isn't a good thing, then it's essentially 11 attempts for 34 yards. And a touchdown, yes, but that touchdown actually came off of a Lamar Jackson interception. So as far as bottling up Derrick Henry, which is no small task at all, defense played fantastic. Because not only that, were you able to keep Derrick Henry in check for a majority of the game, but you crashed the pocket around Ryan Tannehill, suffocating him to the point where he could only complete half of his passes and only 76 yards. Also threw an interception. And who got that interception? And this is why I do like to take a look at NFL.com, because you see no defensive stats on this page. So where is NFL.com? This is NFL.com. This is their stat and highlight review kind of page for this specific game between the Ravens and the Titans. Let's come down here to interceptions. Geno Stone, another interception for Geno Stone, 24 yards on the run back. He's progressed very nicely as a football player and he's become a... Where did this one come from? All these sticky notes laying around. Okay, later. As it pertains to this defense anyway, I'm not going to say throughout, the league and other safeties, but he looks like a great safety for this team. Absolutely. Playing center field again, was able to pick off Tannehill. Tannehill was targeting, I don't even remember what receiver it was, over on the right side. And this says that about it looked like the receiver was going to catch the ball. In comes Geno Stone flying through, jumping up in front of the receiver, picking off the pass. It's very great play by Geno Stone. And it's not an unusual thing. He's made plays like that this year. Hopefully we'll see him continue to do that. And as I mentioned about crashing the pocket around Ryan Tannehill, take a look at these sack numbers. Patrick Queen with 1, Matabike with 2, Clowney with 2, and Van Noy with 1. 6 sacks. That is fantastic pressure. And lots of other tackle for losses. Couple pass breakups. What do the notes say? Right, the only touchdown, the Derrick Henry touchdown, was off of a interception. We're down here somewhere. Here you can see interception, Lamar Jackson. 3 plays, started at the Baltimore 25. Interception. So here you see this drive in which Tennessee got their touchdown started on the Baltimore 25-yard line. And, well, they only had to get 15 yards because the referees were absolutely trigger happy with the yellow flags. I don't know if it was because they were over there in London and they felt they had to throw the yellow flag a lot because that makes the game better, I guess. A lot of flagging for pass interference, which, holy shit, it's terrible. Way too many flags. I don't care. Some of these, the defender is barely affecting a wide receiver. And you were so happy or trigger happy to throw that flag that there was one in the end zone Tannehill threw. It landed 7 yards out of bounds. Like, how are you throwing a flag on that? You see where the ball is. It's nowhere near the guy. What are you throwing a flag for? However, all right, last thing I'll say about the defense, and this is speaking to the leader, the on-field leader of the defense, and how smart he is, or at least we think. Right just before the 2-minute warning, and I don't remember the Tennessee player that ended up catching the ball, but he ended up going to the ground to make a catch. Roquan Smith, being the only one in the area, doesn't make contact. Well, you make contact with him right there, and that's the end of the play. Yes, the clock will keep running, but then they'll throw the ball back into the middle of the field, and they'll get up to the next. They'll get the ball rolling for starting the next play, which the clock, depending on what Tennessee wanted to do, they could have either ran another play or clocked the ball. Therefore, maybe essentially gotten another timeout. But Roquan, standing right there next to the guy, let the man get up, got right position behind him, and as soon as the guy got up, just wrapped his arms around him and dragged him to the ground. Now, what that did was that made more time tick off the clock. Click off the talk. Click off the talk. Made more time tick away, and therefore the Titans couldn't get in another play before the 2-minute warning. Now, yes, there was some speculation. I mean, you watch it, you can see, maybe he was trying to rip the ball out. His actions really didn't, because he really did just wrap his arms around him. He didn't look like he was trying to pop the ball loose. But that tells you something that I don't know if it was luck or you saw an opportunity, and we're talking about Eric DaCosta here with that trade last year. And locking him up for many more years after this. Very smart decision. All right, let's get to the offense. Tell you how bad they are. Take a look at this box up here on the right. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. That's how they're dividing it up here. 6 points in the first quarter by the Ravens. 12 points in the second quarter by the Ravens. 2 field goals and a touchdown, yes. The extra point was blocked. Pressure came up the middle, just like the punt block last week at Pittsburgh. Seems to be a problem with getting the blocking, the guys up front, in the middle, blocked. Now, from around the side, you kind of understand that, and you'll kind of allow it because it will take them longer to get there. You don't want pressure up the middle on kicks. No problem there. But then, as far as back to point scoring, no points scored in the third quarter. Only 6 points. 6 points scored in the fourth quarter. Again, not closing games out too well. And part of this was that, third quarter. And then the interception was thrown in the third quarter. That hurts. I mean, that hurts your ability to score points because you're giving it right back to the Tennessee Titans. And putting your defense right back on the field, who just got you a stop. And then, nope, get right back out there, defense, because we're so terrible on offense. There was really only one instance, kinda. I mean, Lamar Jackson other than that interception, he had a pretty nice day. 21 of 30, 223 yards passing with a touchdown. Rushing, Lamar Jackson is still leading in rushing yards. You would like to see his carries not over 10. You really don't. But as long as he can get down, I think it's okay. But he's got to get down. He has to slide more. He really does. He's not really doing that too well. Pass catchers did a little better at catching balls this time. Andrews, 6 targets, 4 catches. Flowers, 8 targets, 6 catches. Flowers is still seeing more targets, which is slightly odd. Because here you come down to Aguilar and Beckham. 3 targets for Aguilar, 4 targets for Beckham. Less than Zay Flowers. 2 catches by Aguilar, 2 catches by Beckham. Now together, Aguilar and Beckham had more yards, but they had less catches and less targets. It's not great. And here's poor Rashad Bateman, odd man out, it seems. 3 targets, 2 catches, 15 yards. And Isaiah Likely, not even on the list, which somewhat disappointing. It's really disappointing that Odell Beckham paid him all that money, mostly because Lamar said go get him and go pay him all that money. And at this point, we're not really seeing much out of him. It's blocked kick I talked about. Too much kicking. Must have been a theme because they were in London, but somewhat of a historic day for Justin Tucker with 6 field goals. 5 of them were from inside the red zone. That's not good. You got 5 field goals from the red zone. Well, also the touchdown you scored inside the red zone. So 6 red zone trips, only 1 touchdown to show for it. That's not good. Now, it is good that you got into the red zone 6 times and were able to score all 6 times. That is good. But only 1 for 6 touchdowns from red zone? That's terrible. How's that even possible? Wow. Yeah, all right, that's the last topic I want to talk about, but I don't know what it is. I mean, is it the injuries? You don't have all your pieces up at the same time to get that coordination and rhythm and timing between quarterback and receiver. Beckham in and out of the lineup, in and off the practice squad. I mean, not practice squad, but in and out of practice as well. Or is it Todd Monken isn't that good of a play caller? He still likes his stupid Flowers running around with the ball. Not necessarily catching the ball, but like an end around. We saw that. Which he was wrapped up very quickly and violently thrown to the ground. Which, I'm telling you, man, they got to get away from that. They got to get away from doing those end arounds with Flowers so much. It's like you know it's coming. You know you're going to see it. So I think they need to lay off that for a while. As you can see, Zay Flowers 1 carry, 1 yard. That's a pretty generous 1 yard. But that is why I mentioned growing pains in the beginning. I do think some of this is a growth thing. They just need to grow as an offense. And that is something that they mentioned on the broadcast as why John Harbaugh went with a new offensive coordinator. And the line is from Harbaugh, I just didn't see any growth or evolution as an offense. But for the most part, I think Monken's offense looks better. It just, you do need some time to gel, I think. But at the same time, you're running out of time, and we're not going to be so lenient on you. You got to figure it out, and you got to figure it out quick. Because this kind of garbage, not scoring in the second half, that has to end. You, as the offense, the part of the game that is in control of the ball, you need to figure out how to close the games out. You can't close the game out with your defense on the field all the time. Luckily, this game was actually a kneel down. The offense actually finally kneeled down. All right. I think that's enough from me this week. Let's get on to talking about next week. Next week, we're back to the United States of America and M&T Bank Stadium with the Lions coming into town 1 o'clock Sunday. Wrapping this up here is a very great win for the Baltimore Ravens going over to London and beating the Tennessee Titans. Yes, there is some improvements to be made. Let's say 1 for 6 in the red zone is terrible. Got to figure out how to punch that ball in. Maybe stop handing it off to Zay Flowers. He's not a running back. Maybe throw it to him. As in, Zay Flowers, rookie Zay Flowers, just drafted, finally got his first touchdown of the year, which isn't great. What are we? 6 games in, he finally gets his first touchdown? Ugh. All right, that is going to do it for this edition of Ryno's Ravens review. Ryno's Ravens preview should be around Saturday for the Detroit Lions game. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'm the Angry Ryno. Fly, Ravens, fly.